This is a Cathedral ridge vent system by Ventilation Maximum. You use this system when homes don't have a conventional attic, but they have individual truss lines. The ductwork here acts like an attic, pulling the air up from every individual truss into this common area and expels it through the ventilator. Just standing beside it, I can feel the heat coming out of it. There are many things that I like about the Ventilation Maximum vent line. The products are powder coated, not painted. This makes them more durable for installation. All of their vents work 12 months of the year, even in deep snow. Ventilation Maximum has done a great job in ensuring the condensation doesn't build up by installing insulation on each piece within this system, including the adapter. So the first thing I like to do before I get started with actually installing the system is to make sure all my components are here. The best way to do that is to physically lay it out. You get a visual, but it also helps you prepare mentally what you're going to be installing. Now what you want to do is remove the caps. You can see this has already been done to help with the process. Chalk a line 6 inches down the ridge on either side of the peak. With the chalk line in place, we're now ready to cut the shingles and the plywood. Please set the depth of your saw so you don't cut the trusses. We're going to now temporarily install a ductwork on each end of the system. With the 2 ducts temporarily installed on each end, now we're going to chalk a line to ensure that both are straight. With the temporary ducts unscrewed and the chalk lines in place, you can now apply a generous amount of rubberized cement to the bottom of the flange. Now we're ready to install the second duct. You want to make sure that the second duct overlaps the first one by 2 inches, applying a good bead of mastic along the seam. Ensure that the mastic bleeds out through the pre-drilled holes to ensure that the system is completely watertight. With the second duct in place, you can now fasten it with the screws provided. Start at the top, working your way down on each side. Now we're ready for the end cap. The first piece is a physical stop, and the second is a waterproofing cap that sits on the end. Sometimes, depending on the pitch, you may have to trace this flange and then cut it out so it slides in nicely. Once the end cap is in place and you're happy with the cut, you're now ready to apply your sealant. What you're going to want to do is measure the distance between the top of this ridge to the bottom of this. Now that the end cap is cut, you might want to dry fit it to make sure it fits properly. And we're pretty happy with that, so you can go ahead and add a bead of sealant continuously all the way around. Now that the end cap's in place, you can use the pre-drilled holes with the supplied screws to fasten the cap to the duct. Once that's done, you can fasten your flange to the roof deck. Now that this is put together, we want to make sure that the flange is in place over the caps to make sure it sheds water. With both pieces of the end cap in place, you can now run a continuous bead of sealant on all the joints in the corners. Now that I'm happy with the position of the adapter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the inside so I know exactly what size opening I'm going to cut. And I want to take this minute to address the fact that these ducts are insulated. I really like that. It helps prevent with the condensation in the system. With the outline in place, now we can cut out the center section. Now apply sealant all around the perimeter of the adapter. With the sealant in place, we're going to place the adapter on the ridge of the system and then fasten it with the provided screws. So now what we're going to do is we're going to install the vent on the adapter, ensuring that it's level. With the vent level, now what we're going to do is screw it in with the supplied screws.